So what's the state of car insurance in 2022? Rates are going up. We already know that much. The claims versus the companies versus the losses, all of that across the board is probably going to go between 6 to 8%. Now, what companies are having these issues, and what's the average across the US that we're starting to see? In today's video, we use MarketWatch, an article that they posted, very well done, and they go over some of the price changes, and we're going to talk about the discount changes and what you really need to know going into car insurance. This is one of those videos that you just have to watch. It's going to give you the best insights and show you how to get the best deals in your insurance. Video is sponsored by Cover Insurance. If you just want the quick and easy answer, there's a link below to Cover Insurance. They shop up to 30 different companies between Allstate and Progressive and a handful of other different places. So if you're looking for the best deal, there's a good chance that they're working with one of those companies. That being said, there's tons of options. You can go to anyone you want, but the key takeaways of this article, I'll just summarize it, is that the average across the board, it used to be in the 12 to 13, and I think it bumped up to $1,600 a year on average for car insurance. It's now $1,732 across the board. USAA is touted to be one of the cheapest ones in the US, although you really need to watch my review on them because they're less favorable this year than they were the year before. Still a great company, but you may want to see what is the issues they're having. Claiming Detroit is still the most expensive, and this is where I question the time they did the article because Detroit's gone down quite a bit, but they're saying $6,485 annually. I laugh because it's ridiculous. You don't even know what to say. Why even drive? That's the cost of a used car every single year. It just doesn't make sense. Madison, Wisconsin is the cheapest state, $971 annually. If you're paying less than that, put in the description below. I'd love to hear what state you're from or what region you're in so we can see what other comparisons we can find. Now, this is saying that poor credit can be just as bad as your wallet is a DUI. That can raise your rates up to 80%. It usually doesn't. It's like 15% for an accident and a ticket, and you're 30 to 40% if you're getting DUIs, things like that. You just got to switch companies. You got to go with the company that's a fit for you at that time. In most cases, where they're comparing is just, these are the companies we checked. This is what happens if we plug a DUI in, not but if we moved them over to Progressive or whatever company it's with. So that case is based on staying where you're at, and it's just not feasible when those things happen. So they are dead on with talking about in this article that it's the profile that matters. And that's what I scream on this channel all day long. What is your profile? What are you a fit for? Don't put a square peg in a round circle. It doesn't fit. The prices are going to be ridiculously costly if you're not the fit for a specific company. In this case, they say fair credit is actually going to increase between having great credit about $368 for your cost. And that actually falls true in my head as far as the averages that I've seen. Speeding tickets will raise you up about $453. That seems fair as well. Young drivers, $631. I actually think that's a little bit higher than what they're saying, but that's across the board, so some states and some places aren't as crazy with that. An at-fault accident will raise you about $900. A poor credit will raise you about almost $1,400, which I don't think it's that high, but that's still high. It's crazy high when you don't have a good insurance score. They're talking about credit. I will put in the link below next to the cover link is a video that you've got to watch that talks about how credit is a factor in your insurance. Maybe I'll just link it after this video. DUI raises about $1,456, so that's pretty normal. They said 80%, but if the average is $1,600, you're talking about another $900 on top of that, so they might be a little bit truer than I thought. That seems pretty normal. In their scenario, in these cases, they said USAA was the cheapest at $1,000 in 13, which I would put a lot of bets against that. I don't think that's true. State Farm is the second best. Usually in about March, I put out my best insurance companies for the US. So we're gonna do a comparison more in depth on this. But they're saying USAA is only $1,013 a year. I would put my savings against that in a bet. That's probably not true. The State Farm is $1,339. There's no way in my mind that they're second most competitive out of these 38 zip codes or whatever they used. The Geico is probably where it should be third, $1,352. It depends on the age of the location that they're doing. They're saying 35, but I don't know. American Family is in the mix. They're a little bit rougher of a review. I will link as well. Nationwide is next. Travelers is next. We've got the market average. So those are the companies below the market average. Farmers, Allstate, AAA. They rank the best for 24-year-olds as well. So we got USAA first, Geico second, State Farm third, Travelers next, Progressive, American Family, Nationwide, market average, Farmers, Allstate, AAA. After at-fault accident, they're saying USAA, State Farm, American Family, Travelers, Geico, Progressive, Nationwide, market average, Farmers, Allstate, and AAA are your most competitive companies. If you have a speeding ticket, they're saying USAA, State Farm, Geico, Progressive, American Family, Nationwide, Travelers. So I did a little bit more research, and I found out that's actually, we're talking about national brands. So we're talking about the big guys. They're actually in a second here, we're going to start talking about the regional ones, which oddly enough points out the parts that I just figured out. So let's go a little bit further with the regional ones. If you're looking at these major companies, it just sounds like USAA's in the lead as far as the data. Now, keep in mind also that I'm reading a disclosure at the top that says the content was created by a business partner at Dow Jones, research and written independently of that MarketWatch newsroom. Links in the article may result as earning a commission. That's fine. That's pretty much why they write these, is they want you to do quotes. As far as fair credit, USAA came in at about 1178 as the best deal, where the national average was 2100. Geico came in next at 1589, Progressive at 1726. American Family's next, Nationwide, State Farm, Travelers, Average, Farmers, Allstate, and Triple. For poor credit, USAA still came in at 1807, Geico at 2077, Nationwide at 2227 per year, Progressive 2514. I think Progressive doesn't care so much about credit as much as this says they do. That's got to be the zip codes. As far as regional, so we've got Erie Insurance, Auto Owners. Those guys are really top in here. Southern Farm Bureau. So there's different versions of Farm Bureau, but Farm Bureau falls in fairly well with a lot of the mixes. New Jersey Manufacturers, which is a powerful one, but they're very limited to a couple states, mainly New Jersey, and the market average, Plymouth Rock, and the Hartford. I actually just started working with the Hartford. They seem like a pretty decent company. So out of all of this, if you're looking for young drivers, we've got Erie listed the best, Auto Owners the next, Plymouth Rock, Farm Bureau, New Jersey Manufacturers, and then the average. So everybody's below the average as far as the regional sections. Like I said, I still think Farm Bureau is a little bit better than that, coming from a personal opinion, looking at a competitor. If you have an at-fault accident, Erie, Auto Owners, Farm Bureau, the average is just the general market. Plymouth Rock and Hartford are a little bit higher for those situations. And then if you have a speeding ticket, Erie, Farm Bureau, Auto Owners, New Jersey Manufacturers, then you're the average, which is pretty much most companies. Plymouth Rock and Hartford are looking for a little bit different profile, so they're gonna price themselves out of the mix when those situations come up. The article goes on to talk about the different discounts and whatnot. Those are videos you can watch on here. It's pretty standard across the board. What I would check out now is, because you noticed in these sections, no matter whether it was the national carrier or the regional carrier, that these people are being rated heavily against credit. And they say credit in here, but they really should be saying insurance score, because that's something different. You got to check out the insurance score video next. That's going to give you the best advice as far as finding one of the major pieces as far as the costs go that's going to affect what you're paying in premium. Go ahead and check that out. Otherwise, I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I will see you in the next one.